Okay, so hello and welcome back to another Unity tutorial. In this one we're going to be covering what I've been working on with my game for the last week or so. Obviously I haven't uploaded since I think Friday or Thursday maybe. I've been really busy working on my game because I've got a deadline to meet this next Wednesday, so the 13th. I'm submitting it into a competition. I've already mentioned this in the past if any of you are like up to date with what I'm doing. Obviously I don't need to have the game completed for it, or it doesn't need to be polished or anything. It just needs to have like one playable level. So I've been working on creating like a tutorial zone where it teaches the player, you know, the mechanics, what the different things in the UI do, like the spell book and the inventory equipment screen and so on. While not trying to be too condescending, like obviously people have common sense, but you still don't want people to get confused. So I've got like a little help thing that pops up the first time you open the inventory, and then it won't pop up after that unless you press the help button, and I'll obviously show you that in a second. While watching this video, if you see any like things I've made in my game that you want to make in your game and you're perhaps wondering, you know, how to make it, then obviously ask below. And if lots of people want a particular thing, then I'll add it to a list of video ideas. So for example, the, you know, first time when going into a certain part of the UI, you might want a pop-up help thing, and obviously I'll show you how I made that. So it would take too long for me to go through every single thing this video and how I did it. Obviously it'd take forever. So I would rather do individual tutorials on different things, like maybe even the quest system or any system in the game. If you see it and you want to make it, and quite a few people do, then obviously I'll make a video on it. So I'm going to get into that in a minute after I have thanked my Patreons. So thanks to Michael, Paul Robinson and Phil Bourne for their donations this month on Patreon. If anyone else is generous enough to help out, then the link for that is in the description below. And also now I've got the join button on YouTube, so also if you want to help out that way, then that's available too. But let's get into it. So, if you've either tested my game when I did like a, you know, version 0.1 release, whatever, ages ago, obviously, yeah, there were quite a few bugs, and I've pretty much fixed like all those bugs. I've solved a lot of problems. That's obviously not to mean there's no bugs, because I mean every game has bugs, or like just slight things you might have missed in development that you know, people will figure out or find out when you give it to loads of people. The more people to test your game, the more bugs are going to be found. So for this, if I've got to submit it on the 13th, my plan is to keep working on it for the next, well, until the deadline. But a few days before the deadline, I'm going to update the GitHub link, which is in the description below. I'll probably add it if I remember to, but I'll make a post on my channel anyway, letting people, you know, go and download the updated version, and then they can give feedback on that if they like, whether it's about performance or I think it's a bit too late if you give suggestions on like how to change certain things, unless it's very minor, and I can't like redesign the whole thing. I won't have time. So if people have little suggestions, then of course, you know, I can do that. So let's get into it. So see, I've got the settings menu, and I say that, and then now it's not even working. I will check that in a second. That's a bit odd. Wait one sec. Let me just press the pause button. Alright, the settings here works. I think I might have accidentally just like lost the button on click reference, but hey, just by doing that, I've now remembered to like slightly fix something that I've forgotten maybe. But anyway, I've used Pro Builder, as I did my last video on, to block out the zone. So one of my jobs is still to finish modeling it. I've made these pillars and torches. Still got the rest to do. Got this carpet. So as you spawn in, nothing really, you know, is right in your face. You've got your HUD, you've got your minimap, which basically is useless for the tutorial anyway because it's pitch black, but that's fine because I don't want the player... I have a maze, so I don't want the player just like knowing the route around the maze, obviously, so it's quite handy. And I've got my quest thing there, you know, have a look around. Now, everyone knows, you know, arrow keys or WASD to move around, so I don't really need to explain that, but I might quickly have a pop-up that lasts for a few seconds when you spawn in telling you, you know, WASD to move around, so I probably will add that. So obviously you move around, you know you're in this room and there's only one way down this dark corridor, so as soon as you start walking down this corridor, these like torches turn on. I originally had the flames kind of a bit lower down in the torch, but it messed up with those shadows, so I've decided to actually like raise them up. I don't know, I might tweak things like that when I've done the rest of the modeling around the scene to see how it looks, but for now I'm fine with that. So you keep walking down here as you get, you know, these torches coming on, whatever. And then as you enter this room, there are these flames that are, it's a wall. It doesn't damage you, but it's basically to block you from going to the other part of the room just yet. And to be honest, it's not really necessary. I just thought I'd have it because past there's going to be some enemies spawning, and this goes down when the enemies spawn. It kind of prompts you to go in this part of the room. As I said, little things like that can change easily. Just depends on what I feel like. It says like, what's that glowing thing over there? As I entered this room, it triggered the next part of the quest to basically interact with this NPC. So I'll go over here. And I've got the whole NPC system working with the, you know, you look at them and then it pops up. I just need to make like icons and names and stuff for it. So I just reuse the Fire Blast icon and the potion icon. That potion will be a icon that symbolizes a quest being ready to hand in. So traditionally a question mark. So obviously I'd put it as a question mark. Pretty much every game does that for hand-ins. And if it had a quest to give, then it would be an exclamation mark. So for now I've used the potion as a question mark. You click on the quest here. Now, if I have NPCs that are vendors and quest givers and I don't know, whatever else I have, like blacksmiths or whatever, those like occupations will be on here. For now, I just have this one quest thing. So I press complete. I get 20 XP, no items, no gold. There you go. And then when I've completed that quest, it then activates the next quest, so I can now accept preparation. So this will be a exclamation mark indicating a quest to accept. Tells you a bit about it, you accept it, and then when I accept the quest, it actually spawns in the sword. So the quest is, you know, to equip a sword. So the first thing you do is you pick up the sword, and it says basic sword equipped. So when I get to this point, I'm going to have a pop-up saying, you know, press I to open your inventory. So I'll press I to open my inventory. And then now, the first time I open it up, I get this prompt. So it's like, welcome to your inventory. This is where blah, blah, blah. And obviously, I can go through this text and change it if I need to. It's very simple to change it. I just really quickly made this yesterday. So it basically darkens the background, adds these like text boxes, whatever. And as you click on the screen, it goes through the different like pages as such. So you just click through it. And when you're done, you can actually use it. So I've explained, I don't know if you read it, but it said like, you know, you can right click on an item to use it. So right click. And now I've completed the quest. So I just press I again to close the inventory. And I got my sword equipped, which I can now left click and attack with. And then I can do like my combo attacks. I mean, I've not spent much time on animation, but it works. And it actually rotates to be like the direction I'm holding WASD. Obviously everything like that can be perfected, but I don't need it to be perfected for the like thing I'm entering. It would be nice if it was a bit smoother, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So now I go back to the quest giver, and I can complete that quest and accept another one. Now the next one is to kill 3 of the enemies and then acquire some keystones. So now, as you'll notice, the enemies have spawned, and now they're moving towards me, and obviously when they get in range, they'll start to attack. So now I can start attacking them. So obviously I run over and I start attacking them. When you kill them, the XP flies towards you, and the bodies kind of just like disappear. And you can see they've dropped that keystone thing that I need to pick up. So because they're at range and they attack every so often, you've got to attack and then wait a bit if you don't want to get hit anyway, if you're actually trying to dodge. Currently I don't have a shield to actually dodge with, or block with, sorry. So, yep, they're all dead. I hit level 2. I'm going to change the icon from my icon. I just use this placeholder. And now they all dropped these keystones, which, yeah, again, I've just reused an icon for the keystone, but that's all visual stuff to do over the next few days. Now, the purple smoke under the item pickup indicates that it's a epic rarity item, and then that color changes depending on the rarity of the item. And then the actual item's here and it's spinning, because I just added a quick, you know, rotate script to it. So I press E and I pick them all up. And now it says, you know, go back to the glowing orb. So I've picked all 3 up and I completed the quest. So I'll go back, complete, let's get out here. And now the spellcasters become my own follower, basically. Like the actual NPCs become my follower. So I quite simply just disable the NPC and enable the follower. Well, disable the NPC and enable the spellcaster, just like you're used to seeing if you followed my videos. So now I come over to this door that it says to open. So I'll go over to it and it tells me, you know, press E to open it. So I'll press E, put in the 3 keystones, the door slides down, and then I enter this room and it actually saves the game here. And as soon as I enter, it brings up this wall and these rocks start glowing. So it's like 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. And it's one of those kind of puzzles where you have to step on the right stone, otherwise you die. And you can only start going over once it's all done, so you can't just follow it as it's saying which ones it is. So it's kind of like a little memory puzzle kind of thing. It's just, you know, whatever. So I wasn't actually paying much attention there, but I think it was 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. There you go. So if you remember that, then yeah, whatever. Now if I just purposely go and die, because I didn't reach the checkpoint on the other side properly, I have to get across the gap safely. So let's say I get it wrong this time. So it's what, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Now let's say I get it wrong, so I'm going to go onto this one, and I'm going to go into this one, and it crumbles, it like the rock shatters, and I fall through the ground and die. So that works. And yet again, this time I'm going to get it right and continue. So well, I'll try and get it right. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. That's easy. 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Now you're along. Reach the end of the maze now. So obviously, technically, I don't know there's a maze until I turn this corner, but there's a maze. This is the entrance to the maze, and the actual exit is kind of straight down there and a bit around. But the problem is, if you go down here, you'll notice that it's blocked off. You don't know there's a way around it. So, also one thing I think I need to do is make it so the spellcaster, like, tries to go to the place where it should be, but only goes there if it can get there. So for example, if I go up to a wall, it won't just go through the wall. That's one thing I need to kind of fix. For it just looks more polished if that's the case. Anyway, so let's say I go this way around. I know the way around my own maze. As I enter this room, there's some enemies here to kill now. So obviously, got some more enemies to kill, and I'm going to add my new enemies when I've finished making them in the next few days. His body's like spazzing out a little bit there, but it's fine. There's not much I can do about that. I could probably spend ages tweaking like the rigid body and like the colliders, but as a whole, the ragdoll system works. Now these enemies drop like different loot, so instead of dropping the keystones to open that door from earlier, they drop like arrows and health potions, you know, whatever. Now the point is that I've now got like 8 arrows, and I can pick up this bow. Now it's going to look a bit silly, but if I equip the bow, it's going to basically break because I forgot to set the rotation value for the torso, and that's something I've been meaning to set, which I'm going to do right after this video, and I've got it on my list of things to do, but I wanted to make this video now before I left it too late and forgot to do it. So this is a simple fix. The actual bow aiming seems to not work because all the arrows, you know, aren't going where the crosshair is, but that is to do with the bow the body rotation, so let's just ignore that and put the sword back on. There are still some slight problems. What actually is that? Yeah, so obviously it says like I've got the health potions there, but I've got none of them, even though I just picked some up, and it's there's just none. So as I say, few little bugs to iron out, or like little things I've missed off that used to work that for some reason just stopped working, but that's something that happens. But anyway, you walk around the maze a bit more, and then you realise this passageway is opened up. It wasn't earlier. And then now you've got another room with more enemies, and then obviously the whole point is I'll have a like, mixture of enemies, and for this room you'll be able to use the bow. And technically, you can also go and use your spellbook now, and as you go into it for the first time, welcome to your spellbook, blah 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 blah. Explains it a bit. Unlock spell, add to hotbar. Got 17 points, maybe I want Arcane Missiles 2, and Gust, whatever. So now I can actually start like using the spells at the same time. I think that was homing in because that enemy was closer. Yeah, okay. So everything works. Well, not everything works, but pretty much everything works. And obviously I've just got like a little bit more to do on it. So now I can start attacking with the bow, the sword, and with the spellcaster. So that's pretty good. Can obviously loot these guys. I think I see what the problem was. Just then when I tried to loot that guy, the health potion said time. Okay, yeah, and there's another rendering problem. No, it says quantity free. Oh, I think I see what the problem is. It was adding it to the inventory, but it was adding 0 or something, where that one added 3 and it actually worked. Well, if I press 4 now, it actually heals me, so I can heal me up to full. What about that one? Quantity 1. Now, notice how that's gone up to 2, but this hasn't updated. So if I got rid of that and added it again, yeah, so a few little things to note. As I go to work on my game again, I'm obviously going to go back through this video and look out for the little bugs I noticed to fix them. So if you do have a go on this in a few days and you notice any bugs that I've not covered in this video, then obviously feel free to message me, or I might have like a survey link or something for people to give feedback on. But anyway, you've got through the maze now, you walk to the end, and there's this staircase, this like ominous staircase up to the top. I think I made it. Yeah, you can't just walk off the end because it'd be a bit silly. And then as you get up to this platform, this is where there's going to be like a final boss fight of some kind, which I'm going to make. And as you get up here, the staircase is going to like disappear. And then once you've done fighting, this floor's going to crumble, you're going to fall, it's going to fade to black, and that's going to be the end of the tutorial. So I've got it all planned out, just obviously need a bit more time. I've got like another week or so to work on it, and there's not that much more to do. So I hope you like this little preview video, this little update. If any of you, obviously, as I said earlier, want to see how I made any of these systems, then go ahead. A few little bugs to fix, but that's fine. So yeah, if you haven't already left a like and subscribe, then it would mean a lot. The link to our Discord server is in the description below if you've got any questions. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and goodbye.